What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Monero today. XMR at the request of Mr. Hat. We're talking about it versus USD and versus Bitcoin today. So buckle up. That's what we got on the docket. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and let's get started. We're at $161 about right now, up 8.3% this week, right? You are, in my opinion, looking pretty damn bullish here in your weekly RSI, looking bullishly postured in your price action, consolidating in a horizontal range right after this move up. Generally speaking, these are neutral kind of patterns, right? The horizontal channel, but you do break out most of the time. The majority of the time you do break out in the direction that brought you into the channel. So with crypto and everything being bullish too, I would expect that you break out of this. This horizontal channel breaking bullishly isn't what's bullish, right? I mean, that's bullish in itself. That's nice to see. A little bit move there, but you're going to be breaking out of this whole range. So it's probably not going to stop anywhere soon, right? Like you've been cooped up for a long time. When you decide to let this birdie fly, it's going to fly high, right? You're probably going to go, you're at $160 now. This move, when it comes time to breaking out, whenever that is, you're going to see a move up to 285 or higher very fast. That's kind of my assumption, right? If we take a high here, all-time high to the low, this most recent low, those were not accurate points. There we go. Yeah, 273, 308, that's your golden ratio zone right there. I see no reason why when this level, this 184 area breaks, where you found resistance time and time again throughout the past couple of years, I see no reason why once that breaks you wouldn't just go straight up there, like literally straight up there. Probably even faster than I'm drawing it. Like genuinely, it would just be like straight up there. I think you're going to get that move soon. By the end of this year, you genuinely could be up at these areas. If not, at the very least, I would expect you've broken out of this zone by the end of this year. But genuinely, I think it's fair to, I don't know why the fib won't draw on there, but that's okay. I thought I had it, but I think it is fair to assume that you'll see prices at $273 to $308 by the end of the year. That is my guess right now. Monthly RSI bouncing off the 50. That's a very bullish look. I like that, right? Just as rejecting off of the 50 was not good the two times that you did it. It wasn't good any of these times. Hopefully finding support here does lead you to breaking out, right? If we look at the daily or the weekly, the weekly RSI does look bullish as well. You've got lower lows in your RSI, higher lows in your price. That is hidden bullish divergence. Love to see that. Volume is dying off as you're getting deeper in this range. Normally, when you're in a consolidation zone, volume dies off. Once it's dead, that's when you know you're ready to break one way or another, right? So hopefully when we start to move up, we get some volume to come in. That's how we know that we're breaking out to the right direction there. Daily RSI. Looking good, looking productive. Weaker than the weekly, weaker than the monthly for sure. But what you're doing right now, you look like you want to keep going. You look like you want to keep moving up. So hard to say, but at the rate you're going right now, don't be surprised if you pull back a little bit, right? You could pull back to that 150 zone. You're at 160 right now. Just kind of work your way up here, and then maybe sometime by the end of this month or in November, you'll probably see a breakout of this zone. We'll break above that 180, 190 area, and start making our way. Yeah, I would assume it's going to happen very, very soon. Let's compare this to BTC. Real quick, let's talk about the all-time high for Monero, where I see it going this cycle, right? Monero is cool because it's been around for a while, and it's got a high market cap, right? But it's not like the highest market cap. Number 34, $3 billion. I mean, that's a high market cap, right? But you can still see a lot of growth, especially with something like this. Like Monero, most coins that are worth $3 billion, I wouldn't say are worth $300 billion in market cap valuation. Monero is, I think, at least. I think it is. This coin is worth multiple hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap valuation. I really do think that it has that potential to see that. Will it be this cycle? Maybe, maybe not. But there's not many coins that have this kind of market cap that I would say has 100x potential in it still, right? This thing does. I think this thing definitely does. This cycle, maybe not. Time will tell, but it could. But that'd be insane. Something crazy would have to happen, man, with like bullish news for privacy coins. I don't know. $160 now. Minimum target would be $1,000, $2,800, somewhere in that zone. Absolutely, Monero could see deeper extensions at like $6,000, $18,500. Does that check out? Does that line up with what I'm saying? Let's see. Yep. Actually, that would be about the limits that I would say, right, for this cycle. As crazy as that is, yes, Monero could see something nuts, dude. Like, it really could happen. I think Monero is very undervalued, but who cares what I think, right? That doesn't matter. I thought it was undervalued this whole time. Look at how much that mattered, right? It didn't do anything. So I might think that Monero, in my heart and in my soul, is worth hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap valuation. But if the market doesn't agree, then, well, it's going to be priced differently. So the minimum expectation that I would have, again, is $1,000 to $2,800. That's, I think, a very key range to focus on. But personally, I don't think that you've consolidated for multiple cycles. I don't think you've had a high for 2 cycles in a row at the same area. You've had 2 bear cycles in the same consolidation area. I don't think you've wound up in this tight area constructively, positively like this to just stop in your primary zone. If you do, I would think this higher area is where you'd go, but I feel very suspicious of these numbers, the 1414 and the 1272. Maybe you find turbulence there, but I really think, if we were to refine this range, instead of saying between $18,600 and $1,000, because that's a huge range, right? We're at 160 now. I think refining it more to like 2,800. Let's just say even like $3,000 to $6,000, something like that could be in store for Monero, and that would make sense to me, right? Breaking out, you just take away all the noise. You've got this big zone here. You break out. Are you going to stop here? Probably not. Are you going to stop like somewhere up here? Probably. And that's right already at like $3,000, $4,000. So something at like 3,000 to 6,000. I think that's an appropriate guess, not just because of a random spitball of an idea, but because of the fib levels that we have addressed here, and because this is Monero, because it's a very OG coin. It stood the test of time. It had one of the most controlled and docile bear markets that we saw for crypto last cycle, right? There weren't many coins that had less of a drop and a more tame drop than Monero had, right? It's also been very tame this bull cycle, but that's okay, right? This thing can definitely move up a lot in a very short amount of time. I mean, we've seen it move up a lot in a very short amount of time, so time will tell, though. Let's talk about XMR BTC here, and then wrap this bad boy up. XMR BTC. On Kraken? Yeah, probably. That one's got the most data, right? KuCoin? No? We're going to use Kraken. Yeah. From this low to this high. Maybe I should take this low. Maybe I should take this low. Yeah, okay. Well respected. Kind of weird to me, but whatever. It's a weird chart, XMR BTC. So this looks bearish, Mr. Hat. This looks bearish, which doesn't make sense to me, right? Or, I mean, time will tell. We'll see how it goes. But I would expect that you start to see some growth. If Monero's to do anything like we're expecting it to do this cycle, we would hopefully see some growth. Right now, though, going all the way down to your 1618, finding resistance at your 100 level like this, and then getting back below your 1272, it's not a good look. Generally, like this look, if this was anything else, I would have no problem thinking that you would at least go to your 1886 or your 2272 area, somewhere in this zone. Like, that would be generally just my first thought looking at this. But let's dissect it a little bit more and go in there. Monthly RSI looks terrible. Terrible. And if this disagrees with what I'm saying, guys, that could be a big problem, right? Monero might not break out. Everything that I was just saying could be a hoax, man. It really could be. That's not a good look, right? We're looking at a different fib here, from a high to a low instead of from a low to a high perspective. Rejecting your 382 like that, getting below the 236, that's not a good look either. Generally, you respect the 382 in this fashion on strong moves, and this is a pretty strong move down, then that generally begets continuation. Continuation meaning a lower low, right? Let's look at the weekly. Bullish divergence there. Had that move fulfilled already. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I truthfully don't like it. They all look so bad. The daily RSI looks bad too. Though you do have a lot of volume right there, and you didn't go anywhere. Though I don't know how accurate that volume would be on this chart, or if it matters, it's just on Kraken. I don't know. Damn. Damn is all I gotta say. Let's see if we can make sense out of this. $39.5% down, 51% down versus Bitcoin. That doesn't mean it's going to lose value. It just means Bitcoin would gain more value. That's how I look at it, right? So minimum was what? 40, 39. Let's call it 40. 40% to the downside. So Monero would be worth 40% less. Is that right? For Bitcoin? If Bitcoin moved up 40%, would Monero be worth 40% less? Is that how it would work? I'm not 100% sure. Let's just run with that and see if it works. 40%, right? So if Monero stayed at the same price and Bitcoin moved up to 96K, we would see this move down. And see, that just doesn't make sense to me, right? Like, Monero would have to stay at the same price while Bitcoin moves up this high, because that would be the minimum expected target, let alone more, right? But if Bitcoin breaks out like that high, dude, if it's like, Monero's going to go up too. And it might not go up immediately with Bitcoin, right? If you watched my video yesterday, this video might help actually. The one that I made, where is it? Wasn't it yesterday? BTC.D top predictions. Talking about the Bitcoin dominance chart topping off maybe as early as November, maybe as late as January, right? So you could see BTC going up in that time, and Monero just chilling. You know, if that's the case, maybe we do see it lose value. All I'm trying to get around is this chart looks so bad to me, okay? XMR BTC, it looks like it wants to keep going down. But XMR USD, to me, it looks like it's ready to go up. So one of these is wrong, right? Or maybe one of them is only right for a very short amount of time. And it might be this one. Right in the sense that it goes down still, but then that's it. That next low is it, and then finally it starts to move up. I don't know. Maybe it forms a higher or a lower high up here, but how much percentage growth would it see? I mean, 407, yeah. I mean, I guess that's fine. I don't know. There are ways where it makes more sense to me now than I had originally thought, that if we were to move down, that we could make sense out of that in the charts. Maybe it does do that. Maybe Bitcoin does move up a sizable bit before XMR breaks out. I just wouldn't think Bitcoin itself would be anywhere near $90,000 and this thing still hasn't moved. That doesn't make, like, I would think if Bitcoin broke out to new all-time highs, the rest of crypto would at least move up too. And if this thing moves up just a little bit, it's going to break out of this. And if it breaks out of this, there's no way this is going to go down, right? But I guess it all depends on when this happens, right? What if Bitcoin does move up first and this thing's just chilling still for another month, and Bitcoin moves up a lot in a month? Who knows? Maybe we see this move. Maybe it does go down. It would make sense. The chart here is telling me it goes down. The chart here is telling me we're about to move up. So the most logic that I can construe from that is this will have to act first, and then this will act second. Once we get our low here, we'll know that we're closer to breaking out of this zone. That's my theory on the matter. We'll see how it holds up. A little bit of a head scratcher there. Hopefully it all makes sense. Hopefully we get both this chart right and this chart right. But at the moment, I wouldn't feel, man, if it wasn't for the USD chart, I would have no problem calling for this going lower. But that's the only thing holding me back. So, but I'm unbiasedly not taking this into consideration at all. I'm just going to look at this chart and say, yes, I do think you're going lower versus Bitcoin over the weeks, over the months, until such a time that Monero decides to start moving up and breaking out of its zone. I can't see a scenario where Monero breaks out of this zone here. I'm going to move that bubble over so it's more appropriate, right? Like right there. I don't see a scenario where it breaks out of this zone and then this moves lower still. Bitcoin would have to be on a huge tear if that was the case. But you're at 0.002349 per BTC right now, or BTCs per Monero. Is that right? and I think you're going to drop down to 0.001422, if not 0.001136, over the coming days, over the coming weeks, over the coming months. I don't know, man. It doesn't look good. That's all I got to say about it. At least if you don't, I will say this, okay, based off of this fib alone, there's a silver lining. You could hold support in this zone. Maybe you move down a little bit and you hold support there and you do get a higher low, maybe. You know, I like truthfully thinking about that really could happen. But just everything else in culmination, it just looks so bad that I didn't really consider that. But you could find support somewhere in this zone. But if not, lower you go, you know what to expect. Anyways, that's the best I got. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. I definitely do expect that this thing moves up. I don't think that a chart like this has spent all this time consolidating, having one of the more tame bear markets that it's had, an astonishingly higher low, coming in right at previous areas of resistance back here, key areas of support back here, key areas in the chart's existence, right? You're finding support in these areas, right? A double bottom even. I don't think you've done all this to just flop. No, I don't think so. I really do think you're going to see new all-time highs. But it'll be interesting to see. This tells a different story, at least for the short term, right? Again, this moving down does not mean that this is going to move down. And this could move down a little bit. It could, but I don't think you're going to take out those lows, obviously. I don't think you'll take out these lows that you have here at like 140, 137. But I forgot what I was going to say. It was something about this. All in all, this can move down. Bitcoin can move up. This can move sideways. I don't know. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.